So for today's lesson, we are going to continue with the structured questions for this paper, 2026 February March. Okay, so until today, the answers are not available online yet, so it can be quite helpful that we use the session to discuss the answers over here. So similarly, like what we did previously in the previous lesson, we discussed and write the point form answers on the screen. Okay, so question three over here, monetary policy has changed in Ethiopia in recent years. The country's central bank now use changes in the interest rate. Okay, they use the changes in the interest rate rather than controls on bank lending. So they use the interest rate, okay, to control, to influence the aggregate demand in the economy, right? Now, it has also moved from operating a fixed exchange rate system to a floating exchange rate system. The Ethiopian government used a range of supply side policy measures. Okay, the government has prioritized some sugar processing firms. Okay, but most large firms are still state-owned. State-owned meaning to say that it's still owned by the government, it's still owned by the public sector. Okay, very quickly, let's have a look into question A over here. Identify true causes of an increase in the demand for bank loans. So identify only. Straight away give me answers, and then you get the marks. True causes of an increase in the demand for bank loans. That means what are the reasons that we would demand for bank loans at the what would be the causes that will increase the demand for bank loans? Yes, very good, Kaisun. Lower interest rate. Okay, so this one, not sure if I discussed this last week already or not for question A. So let me just quickly go through. Confidence. Yes, very good. Yeah, Kaisun, just now I was uh like telling you that the answers I was giving you a feedback. Never mind, it's okay. I will send you the feedback when I have time. Okay. Lower interest rate, lower interest rate, higher business confidence. Yes, correct. I think we discussed this before. Higher consumer confidence. Can. Okay, higher business confidence or higher consumers confidence. Okay. What else? Higher income or greater availability of credits. Can. Higher income and greater availability of credits or loans. Okay. Good. As simple as that. No need to explain. There is no need for you to explain at all. Just as simple as that. So that's the first question A. You choose any true causes. Keep it concise and just write the answers. Hey, for your information, I realized that this paper two is considered as an easy one, So if your real exams really like this, right, then you should expect the threshold may be higher. Okay, so therefore for this paper, while we are discussing right now, try to think about more specific explanations or more specific answers later on when you answer question C and donkey. Okay, so try to write better if the questions are easy. Now, next question you can see is a very direct question as well. Explain true supply side policy measures other than prioritization. Very simple. You just give me any two supply side policy and explain. That's all. So come, give me the answers. Any true supply side policy measures. Quick, quick. Okay, give me the supply side policy measure first. We can have a lot, right? Okay, education and training. Very good. Very good, Sinling. Education and training. Deregulate. Elena, you didn't read the question, Elena. Cannot have privatization. You see the question? Other than privatization. Oh no. Yeah. Okay. Deregulation, subsidies can. Very good. Yes. So you can talk about education and training. Okay. Subsidies. Very good. Okay. To influence the aggregate supply, the total output. Deregulation. Very good. What else? Any other answers? Labor market reforms, investment in infrastructure. Yes, all these can. Okay, good. Now, you have the answers here. Very good. Very good. But then, now can you try to write a concise answers here? Yes, reduce trade union power also can. That falls under the labor market reforms. Very good. When you talk about reduce trade union power, you can use that as your explanation for labor market reforms. Very good. Now I give you a challenge. Now you all are able to give me the answers directly. Very good. You all are very familiar with the supply side policies measures. Any of the instruments that are related to the supply side policy that has been used to increase the aggregate supply or the total output or the productive capacity of the economy. Good. Now, this is a 4 marks question. Are you able to write concisely and get 4 marks straight away with just few sentences? Can or not? We do one sample. Okay, if you want to try, you can try in the chat box. I can mark for you. Now, I know that last week you all feedback that you all prefer to write on Google Doc, but then I want to save time because today I want to rush to finish the structure question. No time. Today is the second last lesson already. Then next week, last lesson, no more already. So I want to speed up to finish up the questions. So therefore, no time for you to type on Google Doc for our last few lessons. My bad. Okay, but no worries. You try in the chat box. I can mark for you. Okay, now I do one sample for you. Everyone learn to write concisely. Okay, for question B, I can see some improvement from some of you, like can write concisely, but then some of you still write very lengthy. So let's write concisely here. In exam, you just write first is, let's say, education and training. You get 1 mark. Okay, which helps to improve skills and qualification. Full stop. Second, what else you want to write? Deregulation. Okay, second, deregulation. Okay, so easier to encourage people to set up firms. Full stop. Keep it short and sweet. If you want to talk about subsidy, can reduce cost and increase output. Full stop. Okay, let's see. I saw a lot of you trying. Okay, let me mark barriers to entry. Barriers to entry into the market. Okay, all right. Okay, I see. Let me see Cindy answer. Okay, I saw 2 answers from you all. Let me mark it now straight away. So let me mark it here on the spot. Okay, we mark on the spot. So I saw Cindy answers and also Covin answer. Okay, put it over here. Okay, quick one. Let me mark it on the spot here. Use another color. Because today we are using the screen. Okay, I use blue. Put in blue. Okay. Let me mark. Let's see Cindy answer first. Increase education and training, 1 mark. Increase the skills and qualification, 2. Okay. Subsidies, okay. Lower cost of production. Okay, you can cut it shorter though. You can actually make it shorter if you want to because it's only 4 marks. You can even cut it short here. No need this one. Subsidy lower cost and encourage firms to produce more. Okay, reduce cost and yeah, can. Correct. Yeah, good. 4 out of 4. 4 out of 4. Can. Okay. Education and training, which improve the productivity of labor, which encourage business investment. Can I give you 1 more mark here? But then 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 for COVID one. Okay. All right. Can Kai soon, but you can keep it shorter. Reducing the power of trade union. Uh, prevents them. You can say reduce their collective bargaining power so that they are more competitive. So when you talk about reducing power of trade union, you can relate to the labor competition, like making the labor market more competitive. Making the labor market more competitive. Okay, so just change a bit with your explanation. Okay, good. All right, now, next one. Okay, C and D, I want you to be as a bit more details if can. Never mind, let's try first. Okay. Question C, analyze how state-owned firms, okay, may benefit a country's population. State-owned firms means what? Firms that are owned by the public sector or the government. Okay. So can you think of any answers? This one also very easy only actually. Consider as easy. Easy. How? Ryan, you want to try also can one, Ryan. If not, next time you don't have chance to try already. So how state-owned firms benefit a country's population? How? Okay, can. Tyson, yours one can. Very good. Create more jobs can. More public goods can. But where is the explanation? Try to write the explanations. So this one is from Tyson. Okay, so state-owned firms are subsidized by the government, reducing the cost and allowing them to reduce price. Can. 2 marks here. Can. Less unemployment because they employ large number of workers. Okay, can. So seems like we get some answers here. First one, what we can talk about is like what Kai-sun say, lower prices. Lower prices. Okay, why? Because they are being subsidized by the government. Can, or you can say because they are aiming for social objective. Okay, so therefore they will keep their prices low to ensure that the goods and services, especially the necessities, are affordable for the people, for the population. Okay, so you can say lower prices because of social objective, okay, due to social objective or due to subsidies, like what you all say. Very good. Okay, you can also elaborate a bit more to ensure the provision of essential goods and services at affordable prices. Okay, so this will help to improve the living standards of the population. So when you are able to elaborate more, you are able to get more marks. As you can see here, okay, in this scenario, you are able to get more marks because you talk about lower prices due to social objective or subsidies, so that essential goods are more affordable, improve living standards of people. So you get 4 already. You get 4 marks already for your first point, which is very impressive. Very good. Okay. Oh, Chris cannot send me direct message. Then you send to the everyone one. No choice already. Okay, can also? Yeah. Uh, okay. Technical glitch, I guess. Technical glitch. Okay. More public goods can. Okay, let me write down first. A lot of answers. Good, this question you all can answer me very well. Okay, so yes, create jobs. Okay, I write Ryan answers first. Creating jobs. So employment, it will give rise to more employment opportunities. So people will have a jobs and income. Okay, reducing unemployment. Very good. You can talk about that if you want to. Okay, next one. What else you can talk about? Elena talk about provision of public goods or merit goods. Now, how can you elaborate more on this for this one? You can talk about maybe these goods have some external benefits to the society. So this is good. Okay. Provision of merit goods. Okay, which will have external benefits to society. Reduce monopoly power also can. These are the answers that you can write for your question C. You do not have to write until so many answers. Just focus on 2 to 3. For example, the first point here is very good to write. And then the second point is easy to write as well, creating jobs so that people will have stable income. So you can use these 2 main points. Okay, these 2 main points. Job security also can, as in that the people who work in the state-owned firms, they are more secure, their jobs are more secure. Okay, so therefore, they have a sense of job security. Avoid recession a bit too far. Avoid recession, I do not think so. A bit too far. So cannot. Avoid recession cannot. Okay. Not to say their contract is indefinite for Kaisun is like because maybe their expectation is not very high. Maybe like for example, the KPI or the expectations are not very high, and at the same time, government will want the people to be employed as well, so they will not simply dismiss people. Okay. Yeah, but usually if you are a full-time, your contract may be permanent one unless you want to terminate. So when you talk about annual contract, it's most likely like a part-time basis or like those outsourcing one. Okay, when you look into part-time jobs, then yes, they will renew their contract very often. But if it's a full-time, usually they will put them as a permanent one, unless that's why permanent until they want to terminate lah. Usually like that lah. Okay, next one. Next one could be a bit more challenging already. Discuss whether or not having a fixed exchange rate will benefit an economy. Fixed exchange rate system. Fixed exchange rate. The pros and cons of fixed exchange rate system. Sometimes you come across this kind of question in your paper 2. Okay, fixed exchange rate system. Okay, this one could be a bit challenging. So let's try to think about the points to agree and disagree. That means the pros and cons. The pros and cons of the fixed exchange rate system. Okay, so they ask you whether it will benefit or not. We are talking about pros and cons. Pros and cons of fixed exchange rate system. Okay, pros and cons. Can write or not for this one? Pros and cons. Okay, Siobhan say it eliminates the currency trader risk. Very good. How do you elaborate? So it eliminates the currency trader risk. You have to explain what kind of risk. For example, the risk of the fluctuations of the exchange rate. That's one of the example. Okay, attracts FDI and inflation control. You can talk about attracts FDI, but you must explain how. For example, exchange rate is more stable, so therefore people will be happy to come to the country to do business, for example. Okay, inflation control is a bit unclear. What kind of inflation they're referring to? Maybe we are talking about imported inflation because your currency is fixed already. So what do you mean by fixed exchange rate system? Fixed exchange rate system, like for example, the government or the central bank fixed at a rate, for example, 4 ringgit per US dollars. That's what we call as a fixed exchange rate system. So when you talk about inflation control, I think most likely you are referring to the imported inflation because that affects your imports and exports. Okay, forces discipline on domestic policy, that's a bit unclear. Forces discipline on domestic policy is a bit unclear. So I do not think that that could be relevant here. But the first 2 points are good, eliminating the risk and also attracting the investment. Okay. Kaisun, you talk about black market trading will increase, which is not regulated by the government. So how is that so? Like, what you mean like not at the equilibrium price, so black market trading will increase? I do not think so though. Not so. Okay, that one I can't give you marks for that for the disagree point. Price stability and low inflation. Okay, as by fixing the currency to a stable one, a country can control high inflation. You see, the currency is like is on the exchange rate is on the currency itself, so it affects the imports and exports. So yes, to some extent, it can control inflation, but not to say it will control the prices of the local goods, because the most it affects is like the prices of exports or the prices of imports, for example. So when you want to use the point on inflation, you must relate to the explanation on imports and exports. Like for example, price stability for the price of exports or the price of imports. You must relate to that. You cannot just leave the points there. Oh, it can result in price stability and low inflation, so that the currency is fixed. So there will be no inflation. You must have that explanation. You must really have the explanation that relates to imports and exports. Okay. Encourage trade and investment because it eliminates risk. Now, this one can. So it's more certain to do business, to plan for the long-term business contracts. Very good. Encouraging investment, increase consumer confidence can, Ryan, but you do not have explanation. Explanation. Yes, correct, Kovin. Your answers are so correct. So I give you some answers here. Let me write it down. The pros. The first thing I can talk about is like what Siobhan said just now. Uh, it will attract investment because of certainty. Okay, so it will boosting the confidence of investors and business. Okay, continue. You can elaborate more like what we all discussed just now. Second, you can talk about stability. Okay, like how? Like for example, reducing uncertainty for exporters and importers. Okay, easy like what Kovin say, easier to plan for long-term contracts for international trade. So whatever that is related to international trade, okay, whatever that's related to international trade will be easier to plan with this fixed exchange rate system. Okay. For some of you who wanted to talk about inflation, you can talk about it can help to control inflation by saying that it will have influence on the price of imports and exports. Okay, because we're talking about exchange rate, the currency. So we are looking into international trade. So therefore, if you want to talk about low inflation, can, but link it to price of export and imports. You can, if you want to, low inflation uh, on the price of exports and imports. You elaborate more on this. If not, I will not give you marks. I will just give you marks for the point that you mentioned, but then you need some explanations over there. Okay. You can talk about less speculation. Yes, people will not need to speculate the currency. Less currency speculation. Okay. Now, what about the cons? Kaisun, I think your direction not so correct leh. Okay, let me read. A fixed exchange rate weaker than the. No, I do not think that is the. I think your understanding of fixed exchange rate is not accurate though. Uh-oh. Yeah. I was reading your answers in the chat box. I do not think that is correct. Yeah. And no, it's not accurate. Okay. No, 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 no. I think Kaisun, you need to revise back your exchange rate chapter. I think the understanding of fixed exchange rate is not really accurate. You try to revise back fixed exchange rate. I know fixed exchange rate is just a small part, but just that because sometimes when it was being assessed, right, it can be assessed as an 8 marks question like this. Fixed exchange rate, most of the time, the most it will be assessed in paper one, for example. But then when it comes as paper two, it can be assessed as an 8 marks question, although it's a small part. When we are learning fixed exchange rate system, we just focus on how the government intervenes and also the pros and cons on it. Then we move on already. So as simple as that. You do not need to know so much of the details of the fixed exchange rate system, but then the basic, the theory, how the government intervene in the fixed exchange rate system, and the pros and cons are important. So you may want to look back into that. Yeah, I can see that, Kaisun. Actually, I want to feedback to you. That's why just now, before we start the class, I was saying that I have some feedback to you. Yeah, I think macro concept is something that you want to spend some time to brush up. Macro concepts. Chapter 6, yes, for example, like you talk about current account or exchange rate, maybe not so strong, but sometimes I can see, let's say, inflation, the chapter on inflation, I still can see some concepts not really master well yet. But no worries, I will feedback to you personally through your WhatsApp. Yeah. Yes, Siobhan. Okay. Now, yes, correct. Ryan, you are right. Boosting the confidence of the investors. Very good. Okay. Xin Hui say it will not benefit the economy because central bank cannot freely adjust interest rate. No, no, no. Don't talk about interest rate. No, no, no. Don't go to interest rate. Just focus on that exchange rate thing. No, no. Why suddenly interest rate? Uh, no, no, no. Just focus. Okay, in fixed exchange rate system, the government just playing using the reserve of foreign currency to intervene the exchange rate. So guys, don't go too far. Like suddenly talking about interest rate, nothing to do with interest rate here. No, no, no. Cannot, Xin Hui. This time cannot. This one cannot. Let me read again. Let me try to understand what you're saying. You do during economic growth. No, no, cannot. You if you focus on the last keyword that you say reserve, your answer should be focusing on that reserve. Nothing to do with the interest rate. Your explanation's not relevant until your last keyword reserve. You should focus more on the reserve. Yeah, Megan, I thought you forgot the class. That's why I wanted to text you. I thought you forgot. Yeah, no worries. Got record one, don't worry. Okay, so how? Say already now. You see, I can see that you are not familiar with fixed exchange rate system. How? Okay, first one, you see they have to use the foreign currency to intervene. So there could be a risk of running out the reserve. What is the reserve here? The foreign currency. They have to use the foreign currencies to control, like to devalue the currency or to revalue the currency. Now, please remember, I repeat, for any of you who still not familiar how the government intervene in the fixed exchange rate system, how they devalue and revalue the currency, you have to watch back the recording though. Now, I know you may not want to spend time to watch back the recording, at least the recap video. I remember I asked you to watch the recap video. I think the recap video I got mentioned that at least instead of watching like the full videos 1.5 hour, you can watch that 30 to 40 minutes one. That save your life. Yeah? Okay, so cons. First one, difficult to maintain. Why? Because it requires large amount of foreign currency. That's what Xin Hui say, reserve. These are your reserve. As it requires large amount of foreign currency to intervene. Okay, so what is the problem? Risk of running out reserve. Okay, risk of running out reserve lah. Your foreign currency may be not enough. Second, I think all the answers are in the Google Doc, if I'm not mistaken. High opportunity cost. Okay, why? As these funds or this reserve, or initiative could have been used on other purposes, isn't it? Could be used for economic development. Okay? Now, if you keep setting the exchange rate very low, for example, let's say a country keeps setting the exchange rate very low to make their price of exports very cheap. Is it fair to other country? Is it fair? Is it fair to other country? No, very good. Unfair competition that could lead to trade disputes. Very good, Kaisun. I think you start to get the logic already. Very good. Opportunity cost is correct. Unfair competition is correct. Hey, not dumping. Don't simply throw in the word. Nothing to do with dumping. No, 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 no. Just because unfair that doesn't anything not nothing to do with dumping. No, no, no. Don't simply throw the words. At first you are correct already. Then you see the word dumping. Then straight away wrong already. You know when they mark they usually they do fast reading. Fast reading. Suddenly you got dumping wrong already. Okay. Uh Yes, the money used to maintain the fixed exchange rate could have been used for economic development. Okay? But Siobhan, actually it really happened though. Like what I said just now, it really happened. Yeah. Okay, I think I mentioned the story before to you already, right? Like there was one time I think they really did fast reading and then yeah, a lot of things missed out. But luckily at the end she paid for that mark and then got the money back lah. Okay, trade disputes. Okay, it could result in trade disputes if the exchange rate is set too low. Okay, to make their exports too cheap, way cheaper. Okay, so that result in unfair competition. Okay, so when your exchange rate is set too low, it could result in unfair competition which will lead to trade disputes. Like this. Because it's unfair. Everyone, then if your exchange rate is set too low, everyone just want to buy the products from that country. Then other countries cannot survive. So that's unfair because of that exchange rate that's being set too low. Nothing to do with dumping. The reason for the dumping to happen is different. Here, we talk about unfair competition is because of the exchange rate. The exchange rate is set too low. The government keeps manipulating the exchange rate to the extent where it results in unfair competition that result in trade disputes. So here is because of government manipulation. When you say dumping, it's because of another story, another reason. Okay, don't campur, But reason is different. Reason is different. So that word cannot be bring in here in the first place. Okay, so you choose any 2 points to agree and 2 points to disagree. For example, you can choose 1 and 2 here to agree and 1 and 2 here to disagree, as simple as that. Okay, so if you feel that fixed exchange rate system is something that you are not very strong and not very familiar in, you may want to revise. Okay, what if, listen what if I change the question from fixed exchange rate to floating? If I ask you whether or not a floating exchange rate system will benefit the economy or not. So if I ask you for floating, can you think of the pros and cons? Okay, one question here, currency cannot depreciate freely, so countries stay expensive. Okay, Xinhui, usually when they use fixed exchange rate, right, they will manipulate or they set the exchange rate for their exports to be cheaper. Usually, they will not set their exchange rate to be too high one because when they set too high, most likely they will need to use more foreign currency to maintain the high exchange rate. So therefore, you are right, currency cannot appreciate and depreciate freely, cannot fluctuate. But then usually their country's exports price will be set price competitive one because when they play with fixed exchange rate system is to make their country's products more favorable. So therefore, when you say country exports stay expensive and therefore local firms may lay off workers to reduce costs, is a bit less convincing. Most likely they give you benefit of doubts, but it's not a convince point. It's not a convince point. So meaning to say cannot give you full marks. Cannot give you full marks for this question. Because that one I cannot give you a very good point, not convincing enough. Okay? So my question for you all here is, if I change the question to floating exchange rate system, are you able to tell me the pros and cons or not? I think we learned that also. We learned that. Definitely we learned that. Definitely we learned that. If I give you some short table, a short table for you to learn the advantage and disadvantage of floating, you will read or not? Will you all read? If not, I will just move on. Because I think it's in our notes. Just asking. If I show you one table that summarize the pros and cons of floating as a picture, will you look into it? Will okay, I sent it. I guess. Okay, never mind. I sent in the WhatsApp group. Okay, hold on. Let's do one by one first. Let me screenshot this one first. Let's do one by one. Okay, I screenshot this one first in case anyone needs this. Uh okay, so this is questions. So we finish one question here. This is question 3, right? Okay. So let me send one by one. This is question 3. So I screenshot and send in the group first for the first one. Okay, now I send already. The next one, as you all requested, I send you another useful thing. Okay, let me send first. Okay, then I'll open and show you. Hold on. Okay, now everyone can see your WhatsApp group. I will open as well. I will show you as well because I have this updated table for you, easier for you to look into. Okay, everyone see my screen? Everyone see my screen? Okay, this one, summarize for you. The advantages and the disadvantages of floating. Okay, can I leave it for you to read? So I don't have to go through with you already. Actually, we learned that before. I'm just summarizing everything into a table with some explanation for you. So I believe that you can just read through it. So this is your only homework. Okay, you all say you will read, so therefore this is for you to read for floating. You have the fixed exchange rate system pros and cons ready, and you also have floating ready. Very good. Okay, so continue. Next question. Okay, next question. Some countries stop firms contacting their workers outside of their normal working hours. Very good. Actually, when you start working, you realize that sometimes your colleague or your boss will ask you to do stuff outside normal working hours. One is very normal. So some countries stop firms contacting their workers outside their normal working hours. So that means after work, don't kacau me. Your boss cannot interrupt you. Okay? Hold on, can I resend the links to the Google Drive that has the notes? You mean this drive? This drive that we did before, that we used to do some past year before? Okay, can. Hold on. Okay. Okay, try and see if it works or not. Okay, in 2024, Australia joined 16 other countries when they passed a law to protect workers' free time. Wow, so good, can protect workers' free time. Such legislation can increase the health and the motivation of workers and is supported by trade unions. However, it can reduce the PS of firms in both competitive and monopoly markets. I must say one thing, the question here, 4 and 5, are also easy one. So that's why I say if the papers are as easy as this one, you have to worry. Okay, you have to try your best to score higher in case if the threshold becomes higher. Okay, first question, give the formula of PS. Easy busy, this one. Formula of PS. And then question B here is explain true reason why a worker may choose to work long hours. Let's do step by step. First question first. Very good, Kai-sun. You got the full marks. Yes. Oi, Cindy. Be specific. Okay, let me help. PES. The formula, you just write the formula only. Percentage change in the quantity supply divided by percentage change in price. Okay. Done. Question B. True reason why worker want to work for long hours. This one open question is as long as your English is good, you can score already. True reason. Okay, Kaisun got the answers ready. I can mark for you in a while. Okay, let's see. This is Kaisun answer. They can earn overtime wage, good, which is higher than normal wage, so they can earn more money. Two, 2 marks, right? What else? Apa lagi? More money. Everyone say more money, then what else you can write? More money, then yeah, more money, correct. What else? Everyone say more money, then what about another answers? Hey, cannot just give me one answers lah, guys. Can lah, that one Kaison still can lah. What other answers? Only more money, then oh. This one you should answer very fast. This one. Okay, so like what Siobhan say, to earn more money. To earn more money, so they work overtime. To earn more money, okay, to sustain high cost of living lah. Okay, what else you can write? Why they want to work long hours? They want to earn overtime wages. Yes. Hourly rate. Earn more hourly rate to earn more money through hourly rate by working. Uh, to earn more out to earn more money to sustain cost of living, or you can say to earn more hourly rate. Okay, I see interesting answers. Passion. Yes, Siobhan can. Why cannot? Passion can. Okay, so uh passion, job satisfaction can. Passion in doing work who knows you really love to work. Yeah, so therefore passion can. You can say job satisfaction, okay, or passion. How do you explain? Like what Kaisun asked. How to explain? You elaborate a bit more what you mean. Like you say the reason that they want to work longer hours is because of job satisfaction or passion, because they feel motivated by achievement. Okay. Very good, Kaisun. You can say fear of unemployment. Okay. So working longer to avoid being sacked. To avoid being dismissed. Okay. Any other answers? Why they want to work longer? Very free. Achieve financial goal means more money, no? Okay. Not to say avoid relative poverty, you can say to to afford necessities, or you can say to sustain cost of living that will be better. There is no need for you to be specific here for the poverty. For Xinhui, you can just say to avoid being poor. Just general will do, because this question doesn't ask you about poverty anyway, so no point to be more specific. You can say they choose to work longer hours because no family lah, no less family commitment ma. That means maybe they don't have any other things to do. Okay, you can say they choose to work long hours, maybe because they have no other things to do. How to less family commitment. Okay, less family commitment. Okay, can some student will say that less family commitment, so more time to work. Okay lah, can lah, make sense ma. You got no family, so therefore you got a lot of free time to work. Make sense, make sense. Okay, next question. Very easy. You must score full marks. This next one. How a competitive market different from monopoly market? Comparison between competitive market and monopoly. Competitive means like perfect competition. So for this question, to score full marks, you are using the characteristics of the market structure to answer. For example, we talk about number of firms. We talk about number of firms, okay? Competitive market got many firms, but monopoly only got one single seller. Like this. You write like this. Okay. Second, what else? You can talk about the products. Products. Like for example, in competitive market, they are selling identical or homogeneous products. And then for the monopoly, they are selling unique products. And you can say one with substitute and one without substitutes. So in competitive market, they are a lot perfect substitutes. Perfect substitutes. Everything is so similar to each other. But then for monopoly, they are selling unique product without any substitute. Without any substitute. Okay, one is price taker, the other one is price maker. One can have control over price, the other one cannot. Very good. Very good. Price taker and price maker. Very good, Kaisun. Kaisun, I think you are better in your year 10 syllabus. Your year 10 syllabus seems stronger. Yeah. Okay. Very good, Cindy. Okay, let's see, Cindy, how many marks you can get. Let me just read through it. Okay. Correct. Yeah, full marks ready. Barriers. One got no barrier. One no barrier. The other one is high barriers. High barriers. Okay. And then you can also talk about one competitive market. You can only earn abnormal profit. Abnormal profit in the short run, because in the long run there will be too many firms already. But for monopoly, they are able to earn abnormal profits in both short run and long run. Okay, you can compare like this, the abnormal profits. One is lower price. Yes, you can talk about lower price. Like competitive market, lower price with more choices, but for monopoly, higher price with less choices also can. Basically, you are using the characteristic to answer this question. Can? Cindy, you got full marks? Elena, I can. One is with perfect info. The other one is you can call about asymmetrical information, but you haven't really learned that yet. You can. I will give you marks, but then you must explain a bit lah. Like asymmetrical info as in like what do you mean by asymmetrical info? That means that consumers do not have the full info in terms of the prices or the qualities of the product, and they don't have any other choice. Can asymmetrical information is one of the econs terms. It is still correct, but we do not learn that in your IG. Yeah. Can. That's correct. Okay, done. Next one. Also easy question. Discuss whether or not trade unions membership is likely to increase. Trade union membership will increase or not? Agree and disagree. Oh, very messy. Okay, this one, year 10. Year 10 concepts. Okay, let's think about agree and disagree. Let's start with trade union membership will increase first. Trade unionship will increase. Yeah, I saw some of you never try. Vince can try. Amber can try. Who else not trying? Karen, Kaiwen must try. Uh, can try. Allison, very quiet. So Allison, next time you will be studying Taylor, is it? Taylor's college with your sister. Am I right? Okay. Most probably. Okay. Have you visited the campus? You visited already? Oh no. Oh, I thought you've been there already. Wait, I thought you been to Sunway campus. Oh, your sister. Okay. Understand. Yeah. Mm, inflation reduced real wages, so workers join trade unions. Okay. So that the trade union can use collective bargaining power to demand higher wages. Can. Yes, that's one point to agree. That means you can say they are joining the trade union to ask for higher wages, to improve wages, working conditions, okay, through collective bargaining power, through collective bargaining power or negotiation. Yeah, some of you say negotiation also can. Also can. Yes, correct. Yeah, that's why answers like what Kai-Sun say. Maybe nowadays inflation very high, so the real wages very low. So therefore, the workers will join trade union to seek for higher wages. Well, even better, Kai-Sun, your answers are more descriptive, are more details in with the scenario. Good. That one is good. That one is good. Yeah, your year 10 is good. Okay, what else? Training. Yes, Sinhui, you're right. Training. You can talk about training. Yeah, they can trade union provide training so workers will become more employable. Yeah, correct. Training, so more employable. But remember, trade union does not guarantee job. Please remember, trade union does not guarantee job. They only provide training to improve the skills and qualification to make the workers more employable. Okay, any other answers? Okay, I saw other answers as well. Let's see and listen answers. Workers feel more motivated and productive due to feeling, can. They are more motivated because they are being protected and valued. Very good. Motivation. Oh, you're taking business also. So that one is a business answers. Motivation, more motivated and productive. More motivated and productive. Okay, because they are being protected. Very good, very creative. Being protective and value. And then you can also talk about they can seek for advice. Okay, if they are being discriminated, if being discriminated or being treated unfairly. Yeah, a lot of answers. You are good. Very good. I think, Kaisun, you usually write a lot in question C. I think, okay, Kaisun, since you asked about your feedback, right? Okay, you should make it concise for question C because sometimes question C you write a lot. That's one thing. Second thing, but writing a lot is okay as long as you have the energy and the speed to write. That's okay. But one main problem is you read the question wrongly. Oh, that one really wasted. When you read the question wrongly, the whole thing gone already. Hey, the whole thing really gone though. If you read the question wrongly, it's zero though. No pity marks though. Yeah, so that's why every time when you do the question, when you are writing the answers on your answer booklet, always look back into the question, see whether you are answering the question or not. Same goes to L level or L level like the road. L level one question already like 10 marks, 20 marks. That one very scary one. So and some more L level is essay. IG still okay, IG is a structure. Structure only small marks. But then make sure that when you answer, do not try not to be like out of the topic. You okay. No worries, Kaisun. I think just try to the writing very long, that's fine, but just try to make sure that you don't answer the question wrongly. I think sometimes you misread the question just because of one or two keywords, the whole thing, the question means differently. Yeah. Uh okay, but Cindy talked about demand for goods increase, business increase the demand for labor, reducing and strength the bargaining power of labor. Hey, but then you must say how. Okay. That means, Cindy, you're talking about because businesses are hiring more labor to produce more goods and services, so therefore they will also join trade union at the same time. Yeah, to seek for their rights, to seek for their rights, to ensure that their rights are being protected. To ensure their rights are being protected. Okay, to disagree. What else we can write? Disagree. High membership. High membership fees. What else? Amber can try also, Amber. Vince also can try. Must try, must try. If not, after today's session, then next week, last session. Hey, next Friday already exam for econs. Oh yo, next Friday. This. Okay. Excited more. Okay. What else? What other answers? I want three answers. At least three answers. Give me three answers. This is practice, you know. At least I give you more answers you can learn. It's yeah, next Friday, paper two, right? Yeah, next Friday, paper two, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. Are true weak in some country, but now that okay, how is that weak? You must say how. I'm asking I'm asking whether membership will increase or not. So when you say they are weak, then you must answer the question. You are not answering the question yet. Risk of losing job if they do industrial actions. Risk of losing jobs due to industrial actions like strikes and protests. Businesses will not like it. Boss will not like it. Ah, minimum wage is good already. No need trade union. Yes, Elena, you are right. You can write that. Very good. Or you can say nowadays we got joining trade union. You got join trade union. We also not joining trade union ma. So maybe because nowadays wages are good, or maybe nowadays the growth of the part-time job, part-time or the side gig job, side gig means the side hustles. Okay, will reduce the participation lah. No need to join trade union already. Or you can say nowadays the relationship between the boss and the workers are good already ma. So you can say like what Elena said, maybe this is another answer. Maybe less relevant, okay? Because because firms provide good wages or good relationship, good working environment, everything good already. Why still need to join trade union? There is no point to join trade union anymore. So maybe less relevant because firms provide everything good already. Good wages, good working environment, good relationship between the boss and the employees. So therefore, people can just feedback to the boss if they want to. No need to go through trade union or like what Elena said, government already set a very good minimum wage. So there's no need to rely on trade union anymore. So all these are the answers. So do you realize one thing? You all are very creative, can give me a lot of different answers. That's very impressive. That is very impressive. Okay, Ken, Ryan, okay? Ryan, are you bored because not getting the chance to type on the good dot? Sorry about that. Okay, prefer contracts. Wait, what are you talking about? What you mean that people prefer contracts over collective bargaining? What do you mean by contracts? That means they prefer everything to be listed down on the contract, is it? So you can say that nowadays the law enforcement is very strong, so there's no need to rely on the trade union to seek for their rights to be protected. So therefore, everything is listed on the contract, black and white. So there's no need to go through trade unions to ask to negotiate or to do collective bargaining. You have to change your explanation. You cannot just say prefer contracts over collective bargaining. That's unclear. So for that case, when you write in exam, they will circle and say unclear law. I cannot give you marks for that. But I roughly know what you're trying to say. So just play around with the words. Okay. Yeah, Paiseh Ryan. Actually, I wanted to use your feedback, like to ask you all to write on the Good Dot, but it will run out of time lah because I still want to do more questions one. Yeah, next Friday already, man. Next Friday is paper two already. Internal disagreement can, but you can say nowadays no more internal disagreement. So there's internal disagreement. You can say less disagreement with the employer. So there's no need to rely on trade union You must explain. So Vince, your answers, the keywords you can use, but you must explain what you mean by saying that. Okay. All right. Now last question. Question 5. I'll give you a short break first. Okay. So I'll give you a 5 minutes break. We come back at 8:05. We look into the last question. Last question. Okay. 8:05. Okay. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay. Now let's continue. Wow, today we did a lot of questions. Very fruitful, huh? Okay. Next question. Question 5. Everyone, including young and older workers who live on an island off Panama, were relocated to the mainland in 2024. Okay, they were being asked to relocate. This occurred due to the rising sea levels and repeated flooding, which the public goods of sea defense could not prevent. People from some small island nations may need to move, okay, unless government can reduce the pollution, which can cause rising sea levels. So unless government does something, if not, they will have to move, they have to relocate. The effect on the living standards of those who move from countries with small population, okay, moving from country with small population to country with large population is uncertain because you are moving from a country with small population to a country with a large population. The living standards will definitely be different. The cost of living also will be different. A lot of things will be different, right? So therefore, now let's have a look into the question. Okay, our time is limited, right? We do A and donkey. Next week we do B and C. So now we do A and donkey first. Then next week we'll continue with B and C. Okay. Actually, Alison, you are right. For section B, you can straight away go to your questions. But section A cannot, Section A, you must relate. For section B, you do not need to relate. It's just like here, it just want to give you some hints about what they're going to ask. For example, later on, they're sure going to ask you about this one. When people move from a country to another country, what are the pros and cons? You see? And they talk about reducing pollution. So therefore, there will be a question on asking you how the government reduce pollution. So you can think about this one is like a statement, like to show you what they're going to ask. But for section A is the one that you need to relate. For this one, you can see the instruction. Okay, you can see that you may refer to. Okay, you may refer to the material. Okay, you may refer to the material or the example. But when you look into section A, they say what? Read the source material carefully before answering. That means it's compulsory. Section A you must read. But for the here you see answer all parts of question A. Refer to the source material in your answer. So for question 1 in section A, yes, you will need to read and refer. But section B no need. Okay, you may only. But usually you can't get anything from the statement also. Yeah. Okay, let's do question A and donkey. Question A, define public goods. You use the characteristics non-excludable, non-rivalry, that result in free rider issue. Okay? That result in free rider issue. But the keywords for this one is just non-excludable and non-rivalry for the public goods. Okay? Can question A can Now we do question donkey. If we can finish it, then we can finish our class. We can dismiss our class if you finish your question donkey. Discuss whether or not people who emigrate will always enjoy a higher living standard. The pros and cons of emigration. Pros and cons of emigration. Can do or not? This one easy. This one. So you see, this paper is considered as easy. Okay. Let's think of some other answers. Try to use 10 minutes to finish this. Agree. People who emigrate will enjoy a higher living standards. What can we write? Better job, better wages, more access to quality education, better job opportunity which increase salary. Very good, Amber and Cindy. Yes. Better jobs, better wages, better working condition. Okay. So improving living standards. Okay. But better career prospect. Can. Okay, you talk about yes, can access access to quality education, quality healthcare. Okay. Okay. You can put, okay, change a bit. So you put the living standards here. Access to quality education and healthcare, improving living standards. And then just now we talk about better jobs, wages, careers, and better conditions. You can say, this one you can say, so can earn higher income. Okay. What else? Hmm. Yes, Elena, you're right. No war and no natural disaster. Yeah, you can talk about that. They can benefit from safer environment with no war, no natural disaster, and also stable politic situations. Very good. Very good. Okay, I'm impressed. Okay, Cindy, you're right. Personal safety and security. Okay, but keep it into a proper sentence, oh. Yeah. Excuse me. Yes, Ken. I saw one good answers. Immigration can also allow people to have better access to better industry and business opportunity, international experience, and accelerate career growth. Yes, you can talk about that. You can put that together under this one, better job, better wages, better career, or better business opportunity. Okay, so can earn higher income. Okay, disagree, disagree. Okay, hold on. They won't be able in a clean and safe environment. Correct, Megan. But you elaborate that. Yes, they may end up in a country that's worse than before. Yes. Discrimination. Very good. How do you, okay, we put that in. Put that in. First one, discrimination. It's normal to have discrimination. Like example, when you study in overseas, you also may get discriminated. Get discrimination, racism, language barriers. Okay, that's one. Clash of culture. Yeah, that's very good. Clash of culture. Okay, what else? Worse than before. Okay, poor housing and poor living conditions. Uh, with not safe environment. Okay, which reducing their living standards. Okay. What else? Government corruption. But the one you must answer how it affects the people. The question asking about how it affects the people. You must relate back the question. You must answer the question. Yes, feeling of loneliness. Xin Hui, you are right. Very creative answers. Very good. Feelings of loneliness. Okay. Explain a bit. Missing their families. Missing their families. So unhappy, living abroad, less motivated, more stressful. More stressful also can. Okay, any other answers? A lot of answers, Good, Living, cost of living may be higher, isn't it? Start from scratch. Yes, can. You can talk about that. You can talk about they have to start from scratch, but you use the proper words, No connection. You can put it here. No connection. No connection. You can put it here, No connection. And to start fresh. Okay, no social connection. You can elaborate that. Yes, you can. I want to talk about something about econs one. I want to talk about higher living costs. higher cost of living. Okay. Maybe you have to, maybe the country will require people to do longer working hours with less leisure time. Okay. More stressful environment, fast paced, very fast paced. Okay, more stressful environment. Okay, good. You all answer me all the question already. Very good. Okay, we still have some time. Just one last question. One last question, then we are done. Okay, it won't take you long. Last one, last one. Explain true reason why young workers may be more mobile than older workers. Last question already. Yes, Xin Hui, you can talk about that as well. Correct. Question B-boy. B-boy, then we are done. B-boy, true reason why younger workers may be more mobile. Correct. Yes, you can relate to occupational and geographical mobile to get marks. Very good. Oh, yes, COVID, you are right, but too long. Your answer is too lengthy. No time. Cannot write that lengthy. Okay, so I write the answers here first. Okay, then COVID, I show you how to write shorter. I show you how. Okay, let me write the answers first. True reason why young workers may be more mobile, maybe better health and energy. Correct. Higher education and transferable skill. There are more relevant skills or transferable skill. You can say easier for them to move around, right? Lower relocation costs, okay, due to less family commitment. So can okay. So to answer COVID question, how to write concisely? Let me show you how to write concisely in exams. Okay, where can I write? I write on the right hand side. Okay, I will use a yellow color here. Okay, I can write. Let me change another color. But this one. Okay. Uh, first reason, I write on the right hand side. First reason is because of better health and energy. So more geographically mobile, able to move around. Okay. Second, higher education and transferable skills. So more occupationally mobile to do different tasks. That's all. 4 marks only. No need to write too lengthy. As simple as that. 4 marks, you just keep it short. It's not worth your time to write too lengthy. More technological savvy also can. Yeah, can. So next week we will continue with question C. Analyze how government could reduce pollution. How? That means we are talking about the methods. So the one I highlight in yellow is the one that we're going to look into next week. Okay. Uh yes, you can talk about why older workers are less mobile. Like for example, they only specialize in one particular skill, so unable to do different types of jobs. Yeah, Kai-sun, you can explain that way as well. Okay, can. So next week we look into this one. Question C. How government can reduce pollution? How? Okay. So as usual, this one I screenshot. Okay. Right? Tax fossil fuels are taxes. You do not have to give until so specific. You can give that as examples for Kaisun, but you can that one is a tax. You can talk about indirect tax. Indirect tax. Petrol one we talk about indirect tax. Indirect tax. Okay, indirect tax is one of the answers. Okay, think about what other answers you have. And then next week, once we discuss this question C, I think we can do the section A. Can you all want to do section A? Can, right? We can do section A also, right? Maybe at least we must do these last three questions, right? Section A can do or not? We do together lah. Because can we still have one last lesson next week. Okay? So one last lesson next week, then we can discuss a bit of your section A as well. Okay, any question before we call it a day? Any question? Q&A. If not, next week is the last lesson already, you don't get the chance to ask me anything anymore.